is a quarter midget?
What is a quarter midget race car? A quarter midget race car is a quarter of the size of a normal car. And it's generally for kids and kids racing. Kids can start racing at 5 years old, and then they have to be done by the time they're 16 or the time they outgrow the car. Usually by the time kids are 13 or 14, they're getting pretty big and they start to outgrow the cars. So what is a quarter midget? A quarter midget is run off a Honda motor, which is commonly seen on your power washer or equipment. It's a Honda 120 motor, and that's what powers the car. So when we talk about a quarter midget, it's every bit a race car as a real race car. It does have a straight axle, it does have shocks, it does have adjustments to everything. So walking around this car, we're going to show you a little bit about the car. This car has a straight axle in it. It has shocks that are adjustable up and down. It has steering radius rods, and these are the front axle radius rods, so you can make it longer or shorter. You can shift the axle left and right. These are the Nerf bars. They keep other kids' tires from getting caught in your tires. And then when you go to the back, there's the little brake right there. It's a disc brake. And again, everything's adjustable with the radius rods. And then the suspension tube goes up and down. And then when we go to the back, we got our panhard bar, which has several adjustments on that. Again, you can see our caliper. There's our filter for the engine sticking out the side. And as we go to the back, you got your bumper. And on this side of the car, you also have your suspension. It's a straight axle in the back. The engine has gearing. You can see the engine gears. And then the Nerf bars. And then it has, of course, a steering wheel. And you can adjust that steering wheel up and down. Here's your on-off switch. And again, at the front of the car, you have adjustments for your axle. So every part of the suspension on this car can be adjusted in, out, up, down. You can adjust the ride heights of the car from left to right. This is every bit a real race car. It also has a headrest for the driver. And then we have this micron here. What the micron does is it records lap times, it records RPMs, it records engine heat. And even though your son or daughter may not be able to tell you stuff about the car, this little micron can tell you everything about the car. It can tell you when your driver's getting tired. It can tell you when your driver's not fast. It can tell you when your driver's not running a proper line. Total valuable piece of equipment. Right here's our inspection sticker. Every year we have to get this car inspected. So what that means is they have a checklist of about 50 items on it, and they go through those items to make sure that your car has all the safety features. This car has an added head net, and that net's in case this car gets in a rollover or an accident and somebody's tire comes through here or some part of the car wants to go through the roof, the net's there to protect that. This car also has a visor to keep the sun out of the driver's eyes. This also has a padded steering wheel in case the driver gets in a wreck. It's a 5-point safety harness, so these kids are strapped in. Even if this car goes upside down, there's no chance of anybody coming out of this car. We also have added some of these side padding here because sometimes when you're in a bump or a side impact, you can get your elbow hit against the side of the bar. So we've added all these pads. And down here at the bottom is another guard. This is our guard to the bottom of this panel. Because we run so low on that side of the car, it can scrape through and wear right through that panel. And then we have made these stainless steel panels because the painted ones get hit all the time. There's no protection on the front of the car right here. So if your driver comes up on another driver, this wheel can hit their wheel or it can hit their car and pop the car up. So that's pretty much the tour of our car. I want to tell you about the sizes of these cars too. This car right here is a medium. These cars come in small, medium, and large. A 5 to 7, 8-year-old is usually in a small car. 8 to 13-year-old is kind of in a medium car. A 12 to 16-year-old is in a large car. And what that really means is the dimensions of the car are almost the same as far as the wheelbase, but what happens is these upper bars at the top here start to get taller. So this area right here of the car will get taller to accommodate your height of your driver. Now the rule is that your driver's helmet has to be 1.5 inches away from this bar. If that helmet is touching this bar or within 1/2 inch of this bar, then that driver is too big for the car and has to go to the next size up. Now if your driver is 15 and he's in a large car and his head is hitting the top of that bar, he's done racing. That's it. You have to move on to a big car. And sometimes you'll have a 12-year-old that's 6 foot tall, and you'll also have a 12-year-old that doesn't weigh 70 pounds. So every kid is different, and that's why they make 3 different size cars. Sometimes if you're starting out and you're a 5-year-old, you may only be in that car a couple of years until you outgrow it. Depending on how fast your child grows is how fast you're in the car. These cars also sit on what we call a pit cart or a travel cart. These carts are designed to get this car off the ground, make it easier to work on at a race event, and also you have to drag these cars to the pit area or to the racetrack, and these carts make it easy to get these cars to travel. They are direct drive, so there's no pull start. In order to get one of these cars started, you have to push it. So you're not really pushing it on gravel or grass. You'll never get it started. It has to be on a solid pavement. So when these cars go into the hot chute or just before they get onto the track, you take the pit cart, you drag them into that area, you set the car down, you put your driver in it, and then you push them on the racetrack and the car fires up. And then all these carts get dragged to the exit of the racetrack, and after their race, the car gets lifted, put on this pit cart, and that's how you get it back to your trailer. So the pit cart's an important part of the racing environment as well.
Now that you know what a quarter midget is, all you guys can buy a car and join us at the track. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. See you at the racetrack.